Welcome back to the Movie Pope podcast, and today we are taking a look at another of Disney's live adaptations of a classical film. Now, we recently looked at the teaser trailer for Snow White, and well, we were sitting there just wondering, what the hell, but at the same D3 convention, they presented us with the official trailer for Mufasa because, as everybody knows, people couldn't get enough of the live adaptation of The Lion King. Lee, did you
wait a minute. This was real? I thought you were pulling my leg when you said this. I honestly did not believe you when you said this was a thing.
It came out of D3, dude. Yeah.
I don't believe this. This is gonna be like a fake trailer, dude. Like, I feel like I'm getting scammed right now, but I'll watch whatever you put on here. But I cannot believe this is real.
No. Well, as you can see at the bottom, Lee, it's from a certain Walt Disney Studios.
Okay. Let's plan. I'm sorry. I'll stop wasting time here. Let's see this.
What I was gonna say, it's got me really, really excited for the Rafiki movie that's set to come out in a few years' time, because I definitely want to see more about this about the giant about this big ass baboon and his role in the royal family.
Yeah, we had like a Timon and Pumbaa show for a while. Why don't we just go ahead and give them a live action adaptation too? I guess it didn't wait too long for that to happen.
So just to be clear, we're not in this story?
There's a lot of stories with all of us. Tell one of those.
Long before they became legends, Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar became brothers.
Hello, what's your name?
Mufasa.
I told you to wait for me. We can't just leave him here.
Rules are rules, Taka. The king will never accept a stray.
I'm not a stray. I'm just lost.
Oh boy, here we go. We have to make our, antagonist have this tragic backstory.
Taka is the
It's all about the
king.
family.
We must protect the bloodline.
But, Dad, I saved his life.
Easy there, Dom.
I have a secret, Mufasa. I always wanted a brother. I always wanted a brother.
When did you get the scar?
Sometimes I get a scent. It's barely a trace on the wind. And it smells like home. And then it's gone.
You and Taka together, that is home. Now both of you go. Find your place in the circle of life.
Oh, is that Kim of the White Lion?
Is broken. There will be one Lion King.
Mufasa, run!
Oh, he said the name of the movie. You hear that? He said there'll be one Lion King.
There can only be one.
Fight together. If we fight, we die.
Just to be clear, I never signed up for this.
Wait a minute, how long did
to protect you, my brother?
Mufasa! This was a bad idea! We're alive! I did it! I saved us!
You're saying?
No. Just no. Why? I just have to come back to the why.
It's Lee. It's the movie we didn't want, but it's the movie that we needed.
I'm pretty sure it's the movie that we didn't want and we definitely didn't need, because I have no idea why we're wanting to tell this story. And I like how it literally opened up with so we're literally, this movie is just a retelling from Rafiki to Simba when he was younger. Like, that's literally what we're watching.
Yeah,
so
pretty
the
much.
Movie is, we're literally just watching the movie of somebody talking about the past. Just very interesting, I guess, storytelling mechanics. So I still can't believe that. And I guess I don't want to sound like a specious, but it was it's sometimes kind of hard to differentiate which of the lines were what in that sequence.
Yeah, because at one
so-
point Scar looked like he was a white lion, didn't it?
Right? I'm glad I'm not the only one that was confused by that.
Oh, do you know what
Be-
this reminded me of? It reminded me of the first Thor movie. Of how Loki was an ice giant baby, and then he gets adopted, and then he eventually becomes this manipulating, scheming villain who brings the Avengers together. That's what it reminded me of.
I should have thought about that, but like I said, I'll be. I don't want to use the term curious because I feel like that's giving too much power to what this is, which is a total cash grab. But with that being said, like this is something that I feel like Disney has done repeatedly now, and I just continue to find it so obnoxious. Is you're taking characters from these beloved animated films and you're trying to give them this more complicated backstory to justify why they are the way they are. They've done this time and time again, and I don't understand why now they're trying to do this with Scar, where like he was accepted because he was an outcast or he was like whatever discarded, he was a stray. I don't understand why they continue to want to do this to these characters. Like, just let the character be evil for the sake of being evil, please. Like, I don't think it's that hard to understand. But I guess we'll see what they want to do with Scar now and why he's, such an evil person. Let's not forget the fact that he murdered Mufasa in this. So I can't wait to see how we try to justify his upbringing as a reason for why he's murdered our title character. So I want to see what they do with this.
I mean, I'm still pissed off they didn't get Jeremy Irons. That's all.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
But but this is but to your point, I mean, this is something that Disney does because, I mean, because you mentioned it when you talked about that show Echo from a few months back. I mean, they're just taking characters from from all over the catalog and just trying to give them an origin story or kind of expand their storyline. So we kind of develop an affinity towards them. But really, I mean, the whole point of Scar is he's just the villain we love to hate.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, for lack of a better word, why try to humanize him? Really, because there's nothing about him that makes you want to like him. And the fact is that what made the original Lion King, the one from the '90s, so great was the fact that it was based on Hamlet, really. So it was revolving around the fact that you had this brother who was scheming to take the throne, and he concocts this plot to have the current king killed, and then he assumes the monarchy himself, only to end up being taken down by the heir himself. Here, it's I don't know what writing school these people went to. I would very, very much like to go to whatever program they went to and just ask them, what the hell are you teaching these people? Because they can't write a decent story. They're I mean, even if they're following, the script word for word, they've screwed it up somehow. They've just made it into something that is not recognizable.
See, to me, it's not even the writing issue. I think it's the problem is like Disney execs are like, okay, what worked well for us? The Lion King. We made it live action. Well, what else can we do with that? I don't know. Let's just pick Mufasa and let's just do an origin story.
Yeah, because everybody loves Mufasa, so how can this possibly go wrong?
Exactly, right? So, like I said, I'm not giving a pass to the writing at all because I'm sure it'll still be subpar.
I mean,
but
it's the basis for any movie. Like, depending on the script, that's where you go from there.
It's true, right? But I think if you start with a crappy concept, it's so much harder to dig yourself out of that hole when you just have nothing to go off of. It's like, okay, well, we have this character, we already know about it. We know we have to have Scar involved with it. But the problem is we just don't have a lot, right? Mufasa died pretty early in the movie, and Scar was just, a villain, just like kind of a very direct villain. So now you're trying to expand upon that, and it just it doesn't need it. So, but yeah, I will be curious to see how this reception is for this. I imagine it will be lukewarm at best.
Oh, you used the word curious. You said you didn't want to use the word curiously.
Damn it, you're right. Because then I'm trying to give it too much power into my world. But I want to. Yeah, whatever. Sure, yes. Okay,
Well,
I'm done.
well, I was gonna say, on an unrelated note and some good news, the Acolyte has been canceled. So that's one less Disney series that we have to deal with now.
Yes, I didn't watch it, so I'm just going to stick
well,
with.
neither did
whatever
I.
About it.
So Lee, I just want to I just want to ask you something, and just let me know what your thoughts are.
Okay,
So
what is this?
So so we've seen Disney, kind of dig into the archives and just take these classic movies and give them the live action treatment, kind of, psychologize the absolute shit out of these characters for no reason. How would you feel if an exec just stood up one day and said, "You know what? Scar needs to have his own series on Disney Plus."
Oh Jesus! Don't put thoughts into their head, Luke. We don't need to be seeing this stuff because, like I said, I already got the vibe from what little we saw that they're trying to, to your point, humanize him, right? We're trying to create this, kind of more tortured soul backstory instead of him just being a bad, I was gonna say person, a bad lion. And yeah, it just drives me crazy. Like we don't need to know that. Like some of the mystique of these things is we don't get to know everything about them, and that's fine. Like you don't have to explore everything just because a character is popular. Like Mufasa, was Mufasa some excellent character? Not really. Now the fact that he's voiced by James Earl Jones, I think is what people really think about it.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
The part that's the most fun, right? It's hearing James Earl Jones. He's got such an iconic voice. That's what I think about. Now, for Scar, like once again, he, had a great voice actor in the, animated thing. But like I said, he was fun just because of the fact that he was just this wild villain. Like that was it. Like, that's what made him interesting. I wasn't ever wondering like, I really wish I understood why Scar was the way he is, because in my animated child's film, I want to have some in-depth backstory about why the villain is the villain. And I'm like, it's just not needed. It's not that deep. It just is, it's pointless filler. So I don't know, but this just seems to be, Disney just doesn't seem to really get it. And they just continue to push out this crap that people just are not enjoying. And I guess obviously the Acolyte didn't really reach out to the audience like they thought they would. I know that that's been polarizing, to put it nicely. But yeah, I just don't get why they feel like this is needed, and I just don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll be decently received, but I imagine that this will also tank at the box office.
Well, Disney, we can't wait for you to release a Scar miniseries on Disney Plus, along with along with a mini series about the seven dwarfs before they met Snow White, and oh, and by the way, if you're ever curious about the prince before he met Beauty, that's in the works too. Man, we would love to see why was he such a huge bastard before Belle came along and saw the true beauty that was within. So keep it coming, Disney. We'll be here 24/7.
We're on the edge of our seats.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm just waiting for them to come to their senses and say, Rafiki. Now that's a character we can definitely make a movie about.
Honestly, let's revisit this in 5 years, and I bet we'll be doing a Rafiki trailer reaction. So
I will be excited when that happens. But yeah, go ahead and let us know down in the comments below what you think. Do you think Disney is making the right call by doing a Mufasa origin story, or do you feel like Scar deserves his day in the sun?
Who's gonna say yes to that? Nobody.
I mean, you'd be surprised, man. But other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.